Hello.
My name's Tamara Chambers.
And I am Cody Melcher.
And this is Tamara Just Saw.
And Cody also just saw 2 as well.
Yeah! We just saw Transformers 5.
And it was not transformative.
I have only seen 1 and 2, because I'll admit it, I'm obsessed with Shia LaBeouf.
That's true. She is obsessed with Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah.
I had only seen the first one as much as you can see it. Like, it still makes no real sense, and the whole second half of the movie is just flashes of CGI. It feels...
But you saw the movie.
Yeah.
I understand why this franchise started off strong.
Sure.
100%. There's the nostalgia, and they look well made, and...
I still have questions about Optimus Prime and conservation of mass and matter. Because, like, if you look at Optimus Prime, and then you look at Truck Prime just seems like he's made of less stuff than Robot Optimus Prime.
I haven't seen 3 or 4, but it just seems like it's the same thing every time. It seems like it's like, all right, here we go. World is in trouble. Optimus Prime is gonna save them. Something weird happens, and then they go. But it's like 2 hours too long. This one had like the exact same actress. It just wasn't Megan Fox.
It was Megan Fox Hunt, is what I called her. She's British Megan Fox.
She looked just like Megan Fox, and
she really did.
Same kind of inserted, like, shoehorned in romance that was just really poorly written.
Everything was shoehorned in and poorly written, and not even in a fun way.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like, look. I documented on this channel love the Fast and the Furious franchise. I love that franchise. I bought it all on Blu-ray, and so even the bad parts, I was like, fine, at least it's fun.
Yeah.
This isn't. Like, a movie with this many explosions shouldn't be this hard to keep my interest. I have never seen so much get rushed in such a long movie. It's well over 2 hours, like 2.5 hours. This movie is so bad that former Sir Tony Hopkins cannot save it. Whoever wrote the dialogue for this movie has never heard a person talk outside of an action movie.
In more ways than just the action sequences and like the romance sequences. Like, we've seen action films that have good comedy.
Yeah.
The comedy was so lazy in this. I asked you after if it was Matt Damon or if it was Mark Wahlberg, because I still don't know. It was Mark Wahlberg.
It's Kurt Russell.
Jeff Daniels. It looks fine, I guess, but it's 3 hours of like pretty CGI, so it's not impressive. It's not enough to be like, well, that was fine for the cinematography. The writing's not great. The comedy falls flat. The romance is awful.
I mean, it was nice of them to get every single actor in the world for this movie, because there were, I don't know, upwards of 1,000 characters introduced in this film. At one point, they realized that they had so many that they just started naming robots and putting their names on the screen. That was a thing that happened in the movie when they did the trade and Megatron's naming robots he wants.
The action wasn't super impressive. I feel like there wasn't anything that I was like, oh, that was really cool looking. It was just all like blah, like Michael Bay action. And again, I haven't seen 3 or 4. I don't know if it would have tied things in better. I tweeted that we were at the movie and it got 68 responses so far, and all but 1 were like, nope, you don't need to see the other 2, it doesn't matter, who cares, it's all the same. And that's subjective, but I really don't imagine that it would have helped very much.
Having backstory it wouldn't change how muddled everything happening in this movie is. I feel like Michael Bay's entire concept of relationships is through action figures that he has smashed together as a child and continues to do so to this day.
I don't imagine that you're going to agree with me on this, but I did find where they were going with the historic things, the King Arthur and the Round Table and all of that. I found that compelling, but it didn't reach the point of being compelling. I thought it could have been really cool. I really enjoy that kind of stuff, that like Da Vinci Code shit where they're like, you're the only descendant who can use the sword staff, and it's like, that's cool, but I didn't ever get to a point where they needed any of that stuff from the past. It was just a lazy way for them to write it in. There's one thing, so the new Megan Fox is like the one descendant who can use a staff, and then Mark Wahlberg is the chosen one who the alien robot gives like the
ancient
medallion.
Aliens. As Tamara referred to them as the ancient aliens in the theater, and I was like, oh man, there's a lot of conspiracy theories now.
It would have been so much better.
I would have much preferred an Ancient Aliens movie.
But the Ancient Aliens gives him this medallion, and then he's got this like alien like medal on him the whole time, and he's
and there's
like
that whole scene where he's shirtless, and they're like, oh, it's going down your pants.
Yeah, which was annoying. But the point is like he's supposed to be the warrior that is the chosen warrior, and it's literally only used one time in the movie, other than the ploy for it going down his pants and it to be like a sexy awkward moment. Like they're like, oh, so dumb. One time is when he's defending Optimus Prime and he raises up a sword and blocks it. He doesn't even like slice anybody. He just blocks a blow, and that's literally the one time he's used that thing. And it's like a giant part of the film is like, that's the whole beginning. So he gets this like metal thing on, and it's just, why didn't they use that? They didn't go far enough with certain things, and they went way too far with other things, and it just, the story was so muddled. So they didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, everything's rushed. I mean, everything is rushed and resolved quickly. Optimus Prime becomes evil quickly, and then stops being evil quickly. And then other element. I mean, that's not a spoiler because it's in the trailer, but like every element. The evil is defeated quickly and suddenly. This is done quickly and suddenly. These characters become best friends quickly and suddenly, and these people fall in love with each other quickly and suddenly. Also, they specifically say that the Arthur part was in 484. When it's the Dark Ages in the beginning, it's 484, and then it says 1600 years later, which would mean that the movie takes place in 2084, and I don't. So does that mean that Transformers takes place in the future? I don't.
Cody was just whispering to himself the whole time.
I think I literally harumphed at one point. So here's the thing. So it's not even like, because I was sitting there for a lot of the movie, because we've talked about this with the kids' movies and stuff too. I was sitting there through a lot of the movie, and I was like, okay, obviously there's an audience for this. The 8 o'clock was sold out, but there were a bunch of people around. And I'm like, all right, maybe it's, there were people laughing at really dumb jokes. And I was like, sure, okay, you know what? People like Jeff Dunham, there's an audience for everything, sure. Okay, and maybe this is just not for us, right?
Right.
In the final scene, people are just leaving in droves.
Like, half the theater got up before the credits started to roll.
Yeah.
Optimus Prime was doing his last speech of, oh, it's the world, and we saved it, and my name's Optimus Prime, and people are, like, just leaving in, like, groups.
I don't.
It's gonna be okay.
I laughed at how many times Optimus Prime referred to his own name. Mm-hmm. That was like, oh my god, like, he just, like, while he's fighting people, he's just constantly telling them what his name is. Like, he's, like, backhanding them and going, like, say my name! Say my name!
I give this -3 Vivacious Primes out of 23 Optimus Primes.
Is that your rating? Mm-hmm. I give it 0 Negaducks.
I give it, is not more than meets the eye. It is exactly what meets the eye. It's literally your tag, and it is exactly as it seems.
It is, yeah. There's no
mysticism. There's no surprise.
No.
There was no shock. It was everything that happened. We were saying this in the car. There's no struggle. No one is lost. Like, there's no sense of loss. You're in a giant war with giant aliens. No one's gonna die. Not one person that we care about is gonna die.
No, that was my other favorite thing, was they were talking about how the world was going to basically be destroyed, and there were like tens of millions of people will die. And it's like, that's not a lot of people in the grand scheme of the earth. Like, that's less than America.
All right. Next week is Despicable 3, I think. Possibly. Maybe. Cody's gonna go die now. Look like you're gonna cry, though.
I've been crying internally, like, since halfway through the movie. I'm gonna go home and watch The Fate of the Furious.
Bye!
Bye.